So we are at Santiago the Peacemaker. That's P-I-E-C-E maker. And he is my 104-year-old Singer treadle sewing machine. And we're going to piece together the turnstile block. So what I've done here, if you can see, is I've already sort of placed the pieces in the order in which they're to be sewn, in the order in which I'm going to sew them, just so I don't make any sewing mishaps. So we'll take one of the reds, one of the whites, put it together as such, and then flip it over so that what you have is the area that you're going to sew, but when you put your needle here and sew down, that'll give you your 1/4 inch seam. So Santiago is 104 years old and he's a treadle machine, and so I have to power him with my arm and my feet. And he doesn't make like perfect 1/4 inch seams, but I love him and it works for me. So this is how I do it. The most important thing, in my opinion, is that you know your machine and know your equipment. So I am going to what's called chain piece these together. So again, these essentially go like this. You flip it over as such, kind of line them up like that. And then flip it this way so that this part goes into your machine to give you your 1/4 inch. So we go here, kind of go on a little diagonal here, and then lift up the foot because he's old, and then sew it together. Now, the next part of this is I like to press my seams open. I don't know what the directions are, but that's just how I quilt, and that is comfortable for me. So we're going to do that now. I'm just cutting all these pieces apart here. And then how I do it is I just kind of finger press it on Santiago here. And then we go over to the pressing station, and I have a Riley Blake Taylor's clapper. This thing is amazing. It gives you the flattest seams ever. And so just a few seconds, we'll just iron it down here, and then I place the clapper on top where I ironed a seam just to kind of get it flat. And while the clapper is on that one, I just open up the next one, get it ready, and move that one to the side. So we have these pieces here. So we're going to take a green, we're going to take a red, a green and a red and white, put it together as best as possible. And then what happens is, again, you want to feed into your machine this corner here so that you get your 1/4 inch seam. Santiago's 104, and I like to see how most of us are going to perform when we get 104. So here we go. Just cut these open. Cut these out. Ta-da. So now we have 4 finished units for our block. 4 finished units for our block. I'm going to grab the pattern again so I can make sure that I piece this together properly. So it looks like, according to the pattern, we have a green up this way, I'll show you guys when I'm done. A green up this way. Let's see. This one this way. This one this way. And this one this way. Okay. I don't know if you can see that there, but that is how it's supposed to look according to the pattern. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to put this one on top of here like that. Put this one on top of here like that. And just 1/4 inch seam, put them through Santiago. Okay, so from here, we have these units sewn together. So now I'm going to do a similar process where I open just to kind of pre-start the pressing process. Open up the seam, give it a little finger press, go over to the pressing station. And so for this application, I'm just going to leave the iron on just a little longer just to make sure that these seams are completely open and flat. Again, place my clapper down here. Pre-start opening here, 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 here. And take that off. This here. And I'm just pressing, I'm not ironing. So the difference is when you press, you basically just place the iron in the seam and give it a little pressure. Ironing is when you move back and forth, and you don't want to iron your blocks because it'll distort them. So I'm just referencing the pattern again. So it looks like this is the top part and it's correct. And so this one must be, oh, this way. This is sort of the bottom half. So now what I'm going to do is take these pieces here and fold them down. I'm not much of a pinner, although for this one I will pin just to kind of keep my points intact. So I'm just going to put one simple pin there like that. And I'm going to go ahead and sew this together. Taking care to make sure I mind my points, because I don't want to lose them. I kind of worked hard to keep them. So there we go. Take the ender in, cut that off, cut this off. And before you say I sewed through my pin, I didn't. The pin is still over here. It's far enough away from the seam that it didn't catch in the sewing process. So now, we have this. I'm going to get this started and press it open. Again, I always press my seams open. That's just sort of my habit. But definitely follow what the pattern says as far as pressing open. But this is just how I do it. Now, for this one, I'm going to remove this little clapper because I have a Big Daddy clapper behind me. So I'm going to show you what that one looks like. But for this one, I'm going to move this closer so you can see. For this one, I am going to just make sure that this is completely pressed open because this is the block and it's finished. So again, I'm just holding for, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 seconds. I'm lifting, moving it to the next section, pressing down. Now, let me show you this clapper. This I got off Etsy, and it's like, I think 9 inches or 6 inches or whatever, but watch this. Boom. Pancaked it. So in the meantime, let me turn off my iron so that I don't inadvertently burn myself while it's clapping down. So that's off. Now watch this. You lift this up, you pull this out, and ta-da! Look at what we have here. And my points are pretty good. I mean, they're not perfect, but here's a close-up of the block. And this is what the back looks like with all the seams pressed open. And we are done. Thanks for joining me, guys. Today I'm Tammy again with Quilt Savvy, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.